Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We are happy here to be part of Antrocon, which is at IMAC Lucknow campus. It is the first time for me to be here. I'm sure likewise for a few of us here on the panel. Uh, we've got about 30 minutes to discuss a topic which is quite interesting and is shaping our nation today, which is essentially the Bharat growth story. So, what we'd like to cover is a few questions around how Bharat is essentially changing. By Bharat, we also mean typically, solutions which are being built, problems which are being solved, which are towards more centric towards the bottom of the pyramid, not necessarily the bottom pyramid, but solutions which are not necessarily very urban in nature. And we are seeing a lot of new age tech and entrepreneurs trying to build that around those kind of problems now, and being very centric towards Indian problems, while they might eventually become global too. So without further ado, let me move on to our panelists now. So what I'd like to begin with is let's try to cover quickly what, according to you, could be the problems that are being solved in the Bharat growth story for the future, for the next probably 5 to 10 years frame of time. Himanshu, would you like to take that? Maybe we.
Hello. Hello. Yeah. No, So I think we are living in very interesting times. It's the kind of like an inflection point for India, where from where we are today, and a lot of thing has seeded this growth. There is the entire digital stack that the government, like right from a UPI. I mean, I was shocked at seeing the recent figures. Right. I mean, on an annual basis, UPI is powering about $3 trillion of transaction. Right. That's almost like what 60-70% of India's GDP now. Uh, that is how powerful within the last 5 years the digital stacks that have been launched by the government have become. And on top of that, India is a unique consumption story which everybody knows of, right? But these two key things have been able to seed a very strong growth story, at least which is going to take place over the next 5 to 10 years for India, right? And what is going to power this growth is the manufacturing push that Indian government has started to bring out, and a lot of startups, right? I mean, we are in the business of investing in startups, and the kind of innovation we see in deep tech. One of the recent companies like Agnikul, which we invested in, becoming one of the first companies in India and globally too for launching like a 3D printed semi-cryogenic engine, spacecrafts, right? So a lot of deep tech innovation in India is happening, and at the same time, a lot of manufacturing innovation in India is happening. And I think it's the right time for entrepreneurs here in this room also, as well as in India, to start capturing on this manufacturing innovation which is happening all around us. So yeah, I mean that's my two thoughts quickly.
Manojji, you want to pick up that line of thought? Like, what do you think, probably from your corporate angle as well? Where do you see new age innovation happening? Where industry which you are part of, in particular?
Sure. So I believe, firstly, we have to remove this word problem, because right now it's a truly an opportunity time for all of us. And we have to change the conversation and we have to look ahead. That should be our perspective, to see like a vision 2030 for all of us. And when we see as a journey what more to be done, because where we have reached, we all have talked enough in terms of clean tech, technology, various manufacturing. There are typical business enabler where we see a lot of innovation which yet to be done to make India truly global and to make India truly Viksit. To start with, the first foremost fundamental for each one of us as an ambassador for India, to change the perception about India, India product, India services. So we all have to create that perception change at any level, everywhere, to make sure we speed up this whole positioning of India at a global map. Second thing, from a just IT, we have to become a product level, innovation level country. where India product development with its duly reliability and trust factor, we can create that quality benchmark as a going forward indexing. Okay, India product with this quality benchmark, because why I'm highlighting this thing, even today, whatever product even we do make in India, we are not actually doing the R&D over here. So all the standards which we are following is mostly imported in terms of Europe or in terms of XYZ. But please understand the kind of scale, the kind of business model, the kind of people skills which we have, we are much, much, much ahead of the curve, and we have proven that in our current executional scale. And in all my global, representation, we are well accepted. Yes, when it comes to the real implementation, the ground realities, the real business case, it's all come from India. And third fundamental thing is the supply chain management. That is where there are lot many leakages. If we can properly stitch that, a huge cost, I'm not saying we have to be cheap, but these are the innovation by which we have to become more competitive. You know who is competing with us in the global market. And fourth, beyond India, we have to create strong sales and marketing framework. How fast we can create strong global marketing framework, that is where I must say, being here in the institute, we have to think international marketing, more use cases, more positioning, how we can position India product, all these three things with supply chain, with quality, taking to the global as a marketing subject. So put together these things, I see, is the next growth story. Yeah.
Yeah, you can add Edison. You want to?
Thanks. So I'll give you a little bit of the global perspective. We are headquartered in Singapore. We have been looking at India for a pretty long time. What we have realized is, and Singapore remains the highest FDI capital in the country till date. So we have been investing in India for the past 8-9 years now. We have a 200 crore fund in SEBI. We are putting in another 1,000 crores to invest further. Key themes: the world is changing so fast, so there is a digital layer, horizontal digital layer, and then a vertical layers, which we call the subsectors in that. So while the tech is improving, artificial intelligence, which is AI, is going to play a very critical role. All your lower level penetrations will be completely automated. It has already got to a stage where, how to put this, the entire automation piece is getting to a level where human intervention is only to master the AI rather than creating the job profile for themselves. I was also attending the Global FinTech Festival on the day 1 and day 2, and yesterday RBI, Mr. Nandan Nilikani just inaugurated the tokenization scheme. That is going to be a game changer. What it will do is it will bring the, so people talk about crypto, it is also on blockchain, but it will bring all the digital assets within the ambit of the regulation. So that what Himanshu just said, the financial, the finternet is the buzzword now. So that is going to pick up. And as more and more data gets trained on this AI, you will require data security protocols. So we have been investing a lot in the cybersecurity space. GCCs have put a lot of data centers, so you will see a lot of influx. These data centers and GCCs will move into the tier 2 towns, which is Bharat, because you have to somehow also ensure that the urbanization that is taking place, like Bombay, Bangalore, Mumbai, for that matter, Gurgaon, it's getting to a point which is saturated. So electric mobility will play a part, sustainability will play a part. That's another piece that is, we have about 5 investments in India, which are all in the mobility, smart mobility space, right from electric free motor. And I really echo his thoughts that the whole conversation is changing from services to product. Lot of money is going into R&D. If you look at the PLI schemes that the government has just recently launched, and they are making sure that the product is built in India. We probably in certain sectors we have about 70 to 80% indigenous Indian manufacturing. There are certain components like the semiconductors and for that matter some of the chips which are still getting imported from either Taiwan or from the other parts of the world. The last but not the least where we feel it will I mean the economy of Bharat is sitting is the rural part. So the connectivity systems, when you talk about supply chain, logistics, I mean, if you cut down just 200 basis points of your logistics cost, there is a clear indicator that you will probably see about 300 to 400 basis points added to your GDP. So one is AI, second is your Finternet, third is your sustainability, which includes your smart mobility because we require that. And the fourth piece is basically an entire connectivity systems which revolve around supply chain. Those are my
Thank you,
thoughts.
thank you. Very well summarized. Nishanji, if I could ask you, because you're part of a very big, JSW is a large enough corporate which supports innovation in various ways. So for the benefit of founders, how open you are to, engage and involve entrepreneurs and startups to, be part of the larger strategy of a corporate like yours?
Sure thing. Thanks for the question. So at the Naveen Jindal Group, which many of you know as the Jindal Steel Group also, right? I know while steel seems to be the main mothership, we are into ports, we are into cement, we are into power, renewable, and a lot more stuff, including GCC. So one of the things that as a group, as howsoever big corporate you might be, one of the things you realize is that you cannot do everything, right? And also, therefore, what that means is you need to have an ability to partner and to co-create with people who are bringing up new ideas. And that is how we actually progress. So if you were to look at the group, I know some of the groups might look into opening a venture arm just to invest, but our philosophy is to actually partner. Partner in the sense of ensuring the success of whosoever we partner. So be it providing a ready-made customer or becoming a captive customer to the, let's say, an adjacent startup which might be selling something. So we do invest in startups where we think we could be a good customer. Being an operating partner. Now, I know a lot of VCs, and I think the world's definitely moving away from it. A lot of VCs, if you were to look at, they'd probably spend, 5 to 10 hours a month on a portfolio companies. If you were to look at PE, probably they'll do a 15 to 20 hours. We actually look to actually partner across the life cycle and across the supply chain for whomsoever we are investing in. So work closely, bring in our expertise to make them successful. And of course, for us, capital comes at the last. Well, we do invest capital, but there are many who can bring in capital. But when we are looking at any startup, we're looking at any entrepreneur, we are actually looking with the sole vision of making that person successful. Because until those people are successful, you can never be successful. So that's the kind of ecosystem we look at developing whenever we are, I'd say, partnering with any new startup.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Ashish, with you, I think you're part of a very successful investment bank. Would love to understand, because, all these founders, majority of them are always first generation entrepreneurs, as we see. And those are the ones who especially need help. So from a banker's lens, could you touch upon what kind of metrics are generally that you've seen are some of the critical success factors for, say, maybe fundraising or even eventually into a business? So what are those, things that you've seen in, maybe it could be founders, it could be teams, it could be the business model, or is it something around the finance? What are according to you, few of the top 3 critical factors from a banker's lens?
So thank you so much. I think first of all, I would like to thank you to this IIM campus for inviting us and giving us the opportunity to speak on such an important topic. So if you see, I'll cover up my deliberation in two parts actually. One is that opportunity in the BFSI sector actually, because I've interacted with some of you. You are, I think you are into a startup mode also, and some of the students are there. They want to start their own venture or something actually. So if you see the BFSI sector, it's the largest in the country actually in terms of the size, and there is a math that when the GDP is growing with 1x, then the financial sector is growing by 10x actually. So here, a lot of opportunities are there because we are sitting in the IIM campus, and a lot of startups are coming from here itself actually. So there are 3-4 areas in the VFSI sector. The insurance is one of the largest area. If you see in India, we are having the penetration of in life insurance is something around 3% of the total population, and in the general insurance it is 1% actually. If we compare with the other countries, it is much ahead actually. We have 67 insurance companies in India, and if you see US, there are 6,000 companies are there, and we have population of 140 crore people actually. So for any startup or any startup founder, or for any student who want to aspire to enter into the startup journey, he or she should see that where are the opportunities are there actually. Because whenever you are reaching to any investor for fundraising and all, definitely the first question will come, what is the TAM, total addressable market actually. So you should find out the opportunities where you can address the larger audience, and where the growth opportunities are more actually. So like this, we see the lending side in the BFSI sector, as we call NBFCs, or the fintech, the shadow banking kind of name. In India, we are still on the very lower side actually. We compare with the GDP again, we are having very less number actually. So here the fintechs are coming, and then the lending companies are coming, and still we have only 20% or 25% people of the country, those are having the borrowing in the system. So, and you see what is changing actually, any village or any small town also, if you see, the internet which you are using, they are using the same internet in terms of the access of the websites, access of the data, everything is same. There is no difference actually. So the lot of aspirations are there at the Bharat, so-called Bharat, or the rural areas. They want to have the top class products for their consumption or for their use actually, which is growing the demand or increasing the demand of the products and services. So you see that whenever the demand will increase, the lending will be more actually. So this can be another area where you can look for entering into that area. Now on the 2-3 areas from the investment bank point of view, or the founder has to look before reaching to any investor or before going to that. First of all, you should be well prepared for the questions from the investor actually. Because what is happening, what I have seen, that many founders are carried away with that I know everything. And when they are approaching, they are, I think, relying on many questions actually. So we need to see what business we are doing, who are our competitor actually. And one, I think, major thing is that they're always saying that in my sector, this company has got this much of valuation, so I am also eligible for that. Actually, that is not the right way of doing it. So we need to be well prepared in terms of our complete information memorandum, our financial model, and the competition, what is the competition in the market actually. That is important, we should keep in mind actually. And then whenever we are selecting the investor also, because what is the mistake the people are doing? People are saying that we have approached to 100 investors, but we could not find even one for us actually, because you are not done the exercise of choosing the investor or shortlisting the investor actually. So you have to be very careful that what is the mandate of that investor to whom you are reaching actually. It's not like that you are just passing to each and everybody and giving your presentation or your information. It will not help you actually, rather it will waste your time also. So we need to be very careful. So for that, because you may not be aware about the mandates of the investor, so you can engage any agency which is having the expertise in that. So they can select, because in India itself we have 1500 AIFs. All are not right for you actually, because everybody has the the stage of investment, they have sector mandate and everything actually. So maybe 10 or 20 maybe of relevant for you actually. So that's another thing which we should keep in mind when we are investing, we are selecting the investor and shortlisting the investor actually. And third thing is, which is basically whenever we are reaching to an advanced stage when for investment, we should always see that the investor has interest for the income for investment only, or they want to help you in the growth of the company actually. So this is another area. Many times we are taking investments, but we are pissed off that we are not getting any support, any guidance also. So this would be another area which we should look at it actually. So these 2-3 areas are there which will help you to get the faster investment or better investor who can be part of your journey in making you the unicorn in the country actually.
Thank you so much. I think with that we have time for about a couple of questions. If anybody wants to ask any question to our panelists around any entrepreneurs in the house or aspiring ones. No, I think no. I think thank you so much. Thank you very much everyone for your quick comments on this topic. Thank you. Thanks.